In today's lesson, we're going to be talking about how to design our top view portion of our CO2 cartridge dragster. In our side view, last time we left off, we've already shaded out the area that we're no longer going to be using, leaving just the car, the white space, with two axle holes already set in place. Keep in mind that we had a CO2 cartridge hole, which is made of air, so we didn't cut into it because that would be cutting it off. We also have another one up here in our top view, so we have to keep that in mind for there as well. Then, in class, we discussed how to line up our axles by using our straight edge triangles, our drawing triangles, and that was pretty simple to do. We just take our pencil, we line up the triangle to the axle, and we just want to draw an axle line in the top view. That's all we need, just an axle line for every single axle in our drawing. So this way we have two axles in the top view lining up with the two axle holes in the side view. Once our axles are completed in the top view, now we can begin to design. Now, for those of us that understand the concepts of symmetry, it's pretty simple. This is a line of symmetry. And what that means is that everything on one side of the line must be a mirror image of it on the other side of the line. For example, if I have a piece of paper and I fold it in half, and I do what we probably all have done just around Valentine's Day. When we open up the paper, our heart is equal on both sides. And the fold of that paper is the line of symmetry. It's pretty much the same thing, except that instead of the heart going this way, the heart would go this way. And it would be easier to understand that this is the line of symmetry, and that everything on one side must be equal to everything on the other. Now, the other thing that we talked about is we discussed specifications and the measurements that are important when we're designing our top view. Well, the most important measurement that happens in our top view is how wide the car has to be at the axles. For example, here is my car, and so this is the side view. And we talked about some of the specifications for the side view, like how long the car has to be, or how high or how low the axle holes have to be where the axle goes through them. But for the top view, which is this portion, we have a little bit of a specification that goes for where the axle actually is going through the car. So where the axle goes through the car here that holds the two tires on, and where the axle goes through the car here that holds the two tires on, the actual thickness of the block of wood has to be anywhere between 1 3/8 inches to 1 5/8 inches. Now, the actual block of wood itself is 1 5/8 inches. And 1 3/8 inches isn't that much different. So I always tell kids, design so that you're going out as far as you can, just where those axles go. You can make it a little bit thinner in the middle. You can make it like to a point if you wanted to in the front. But where the axle goes through the car, it should be all the way out, because you don't want to go out of spec. And this is an area where you could easily go out of spec. I'll explain. So this whole diagram represents the block of wood. And from here to here is 1 5/8 inches thick. So what I want to do is I want to design a 1 5/8 inches thick, because the difference between 1 5/8 inches and 1 3/8 inches isn't that much on the drawing. So for example, this is 1 5/8 inches. From this dark line to that dark line. That is 1 5/8 inches. 1 3/8 inches is about from here to here, which you could easily do by sanding your car down. So don't design at 1 3/8 inches, because if you do that, you won't be able to sand it down there, because the second you sand it down where that axle would go through the car, you're making your car thinner at 1 3/8 inches, and you're going to be out of spec. So I always tell kids, design so that your car is 1 5/8 inches where the axle goes through it, as wide as you can go. So I have an axle there, and I have an axle here, So that's how wide I'm going to make my car. Now designing it is pretty simple. I'm just going to do whatever the design, and I don't care what you guys do in the middle. You can do anything you want in the middle, as long as it's streamlined. And then I have to go back out because I have to go wide again, because my axle is there. And then I will come back down if I want to a point. Now on the opposite side of that line of symmetry, I'm going to do the same thing, but just a mirror image of it. So I'll come down so that I go all the way out. I will come back in. I will do my design in the middle. I will come out, and then I will come back in. And basically what I'm doing is, like I said, just a mirror image of the first side that I did on the bottom side. But notice that where the axle goes through the car, I have made sure that my design goes out as wide as it can, because that represents 1 5/8 inches, and that is the specification that we're trying to accomplish today. Same thing over here, out as wide as I can, 1 5/8 inches. And then I want you guys to shade out, again, the area that you are no longer going to use. And when you're done, you'll have a top view completed. Now before I let you go, there is one thing that I want you guys to be aware of, and that is creativity. Be creative in your top view designs. Also, do not get confused to what you drew in your side view designs. A lot of kids ask me, well, Mr. Truppi, I have this fin in my side view, and how would I draw that in my top view? I promise you, you have to trust me. Whatever you draw in your side view, that's how the car will look in the side view. And whatever you do in your top view, when you cut that out, that is exactly how it's going to look in your top view. Do not worry about the side view design at all. Just design your top view with the specifications in mind so that where the axles go through, you're as wide as you can be, and design it any way you want. Be creative. You have to come up with 8 different designs, and it's pretty simple from there. If you have any questions, please contact me. My contact page is on this website. Just look up for contacts and email me. I'll talk to you soon.